Hello everyone, welcome back to another art time lapse. Today I am doing a piece that inspired by Studio Ghibli in combination with kind of like Aboriginal artwork or native artwork that I have seen on the West Coast. So today I am doing a nature theme with a orca, like a native orca, also known as killer whales, which I don't think that is the name that's preferred. I think it's more orcas. In combination with one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies character, which is TOTORO. Now, orcas has always been something that it's just kind of baffled me because like they are such large, immense animals. It's hard for me to kind of associate and understand, and I just find them very mysterious. But I also love the idea that they are very pod related and like very family orientated. And to my knowledge, that orcas are also symbolic for family, romance, longevity, and harmony. And I really love the idea behind that. So I decided to do a orca combination with my all-time favorite Totoro character. Like I mentioned in a previous video, I was a little bit hesitant to do it in the style of like kind of like West Coast Aboriginal artwork or native artwork, purely because like I wasn't sure if it's like would be disrespectful of one sort. But like honestly, I was thinking, for me, I come from a Chinese heritage, so I think about like if someone mimics a Chinese style, would I be necessarily upset about it? I don't know if I would. I think it would be nice that other people are interested in exploring like the Chinese heritage as well. So I thought, you know what, I'm just doing this for fun, and like maybe I'm thinking a little bit too deep into it. So I thought I should just go ahead and try and enjoy the art process, because maybe I'm overthinking everything. So here you can see that I'm using acrylic gouache with a fine brush that I pick up at my local art store at ORCAS. If you're interested in this particular art store, I did do a video vlog doing my shopping process if you're interested in checking that out. It's definitely a great place for artists to explore if you're in Vancouver in the BC area and Lower Mainland. So here you can see I'm just kind of freehand painting in the little details and design for the orca. I think this was definitely a different type of challenge for my artwork, because spatially I have to kind of leave space for the other colors and like plan ahead, because it was a lot easier to paint on the other colors once the previous layer dries so that they don't easily blend into each other. And it was definitely something I had to work on. So if you're looking to challenge yourself and just kind of practice your art technique, it might be a good opportunity to try this out. Painting one layer of color at a time, waiting for the previous layer to dry, and then paint on the next layer. Just spatially, you have to spend a lot of time thinking about like how much space do I need, how much detail is that going to be. And I thought that was a lot of fun, kind of like giving my art brain a little bit of a workout. So you can see here I have added in TOTORO, and he is kind of hanging out on the bottom, looking up above at this giant, really like immense animal that is kind of jumped out of the water. I'm using a pretty fine brush for this part of the artwork. I think it's like 1/2 size point, and then just adding in the details for like the marks on Totoro's belly and such. Later on, I'm going to use a Sakura jelly roll archival pen to kind of add in some finer details. Overall, this piece was a pretty easy wrap up for me, and what I mean by that is usually for larger pieces it takes me quite a bit of time, but for this one I think it was 9" by 9" art block, like a watercolor block, so I had an opportunity to kind of finish this in like several settings without having it weigh on me for several weeks. I find that with larger pieces it takes a lot more planning, and like I get a little bit stressed about it, so it's really nice to do these smaller carefree pieces. And here you can see for the gouache, when it dries, it actually dries a little bit lighter than initially when it's wet, so that's something to be conscious about. I'm actually going back, repainting certain areas because after it dried, it was a little bit lighter than I would like. So I'm just adding in another extra layer of paint to make it a little bit darker. So there is a stronger contrast and it just makes the detail pop that much more. The other thing you will notice is that I don't like using solid black colors. I think I love having like darker shades in my artwork, using like combination of like magenta and cobalt blues. That way the hue of those darker sheen from the artwork, it's a little bit more interesting, more three-dimensional than like a pitch black color, if you know what I mean. So here, like the black or like the hue that is a little bit darker is actually a combination of like this darker color blue and magenta color. Here's an example of what I mean when I use my Sakura Jelly Roll, which is an archival pen with archival ink in it, to add in some of the finer details. I find this actually very therapeutic and not a lot of pressure to get it done by using this method, so hopefully you will find this tip helpful. So here, just gonna wrap up with this piece by just showing you how I add outline to some of my artwork. The Sakura Jelly Roll does come in several different width or thicknesses for the point of the pen, so you may want to try it out in store and figure out what works for you. I use an average of, I think, like a 5 and an 8, and then for thicker lines I use a 10. Of course, you can also pick up those variety packs available on Amazon, so you can try all the different like width of the pen. So that's it for the piece today, Dreaming of Orcas, a fan art piece based on Studio Ghibli and AB original artwork. I hope you enjoy this art time lapse. You will see my children popping in for a cameo with their hands and their legs later on in this video. Well, hopefully maybe you'll see more of them coming up. Thank you so much for joining me on this art time lapse, and I'll see you next time. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.